Hello, friends. It's Dr. John WorldPeace JD coming to you from Albuquerque, New Mexico on Thursday, November the 30th. Name of this commentary is This is how the USA presidential election 2024 will play out. Friends, sometime before the 2024 election, Donald Trump will become ineligible for a second term as president. What is interesting is that the Zionist Holocaust in Gaza is taking a significant toll of the time the news devotes to Donald Trump. The second thing that is obvious is the toll of all these lawsuits against Trump are also draining him. It's like America has plugged an IV into one of his arteries and his blood is draining out on the floor and he is fading away. Trump's not going to be able to campaign as these lawsuits burn off more and more of his TV time and take an increasing toll on his brain pan, trying to keep all his lies in sync, lawsuit to lawsuit, and as a pending scenario that he loses all his assets and the prospect of him going to jail for the rest of his life sinks in. I still believe that sometime before 2024 elections, he will decide to turn to Putin for asylum. Trump has a plan B in place. He's not going to accept going to jail. He will not be able to live out his life in jail. He will not be able to live out his life in isolation. So his choice is to gain fame and fortune by going to Russia and be treated like a king. And he will spend all his time attacking America. And then there is the reality that the CIA will kill him as they come to believe he is spilling U.S. secrets to Putin, which he is capable of. That cannot be allowed to happen. If it looks like Trump is heading to Russia, this plane will be shot down. A U.S. offered billion-dollar bounty, dead or alive, will end him. As an ex-attorney, I can tell you that Trump cannot win every case such that he does not go to jail if he stays in America. So much for the man with the orangutan hair. Now, Biden is a whole different story. Biden is not hated like Trump, but he's not really liked either. There's just something about him that turns a lot of people off. That said, those same people know that the alternative for Trump means people decide to vote for Biden as a vote against Trump. A bit about me. January 1, 2000, George Bush, the governor of Texas, went off to Washington to be president of the USA. There was no heir apparent to be governor of Texas, so I decided to throw my hat into the ring, as they say. The primary would be in March 2002 and the election in November 2002. I was an unknown with no political experience. What I realized was that the Democratic Party of Texas was run by Bush people. That's right, the Democratic Party run by the Bush Republicans. I thought Karl Rove created this scenario to line this up. No matter. The plan was to run a Hispanic for the Democratic governor of Texas. Now you have to understand that in November 2000, Texas elections were all in the Democratic Party. Like the rest of the South after the Civil War, all the states went Democratic as a rejection of Lincoln Republicanism. the conservatives and liberals in Texas would run against each other in the Democratic Party. Right up front, I told the Democrats that Texas would never put a Mexican, the word Texans use instead of Hispanic, in the governor's mansion. Since the Battle of the Alamo and San Jacinto, where Texas won its independence from Mexico, Texans have hated Mexicans. The Democratic Party knew this, and they also knew that Mexicans in Texas were equally divided between Republicans and Democrats. So no matter how many Mexicans you brought into the Democratic Party, there would be an equal number of Mexicans to join the Republican Party. So for the Democrats to go after the Mexican vote to take over Texas for the Democrats was nonsense. But the Democrats from top to bottom liked the idea that Tony Sanchez, a little 5'2" Mexican in pumps, whose family established Laredo, Texas, and who was going to spend $64 million to run for governor, 8 times the most ever spent on a governor's race in Texas. The Democratic Party lined up behind Sanchez. Well, the dynamics were interesting, but to make a long story short, I and my campaign would not shut up that if the Democrats backed Sanchez, the white males in Texas would jump over to the Republican Party and vote for Rick Perry, and Texas would go Republican for the first time since the Civil War and never look back. That's exactly what happened. But hey, all the Democrats running the states split up $64 million. Well, over time I became a political prisoner and served 2008 in jail due to my telling too much truth in my campaign. But without anything but robocalls and attending most of the Democratic events from January 2001 to March 2002, I got 20,000 votes. I got bragging rights for calling the 2002 governor's election against Sanchez, whose $64 million only got him 40% of the vote. Now I'm going to tell you why Biden cannot win the U.S. presidency in 2024. There are many reasons, but the same reason Texas flipped from blue to red in 2002, it will go heavily for Trump in 2024, no matter what a corrupt candidate he is. Why? Because Texas is most of the South, because in Texas, most of the South racism is still very much alive. Hatred for blacks mostly over the last 2 decades, Muslims as well. Pay attention to this. When the present surveys are taken for president, Biden is continuing to lose ground. Why? People say he's too old. Well, that is a coded response. It is an anti-black code. This is what I mean. Most Americans believe Biden will not live through a second 4 years as president. So what, you ask? Well, it means if they are right, Kamala Harris becomes the second black president of the USA and the first black female president. No way, Jose. Obama is still hated by the racists, and the hatred of the possibility of a Kamala black female president is a never black Kamala mantra for the racist. It is a top Biden issue, the only one that matters. As an aside, Kamala is not Obama with regards to qualifications to be president. So we all know that the economy is sinking Biden, but the Zionist Holocaust in Gaza is losing virtually all the Muslim, Palestinian, Gazan vote for Biden. So the economy, black female Kamala, and Gaza are the three main killers for Biden as president. No matter how crazy a second term for Trump is, Trump beats Biden in 24 if he gets to run despite the 14th Amendment and several criminal convictions. The only positive vote for Biden will be the abortion issue, but it will not override the economy, Kamala, and Gaza losses. So this is where I tell you how I, Dr. John WorldPeace JD, become part of the 2024 presidential election and a potential win for Biden if he's smart. World peace is part of the mix for Biden in 2024 in two ways. World Peace, me, is running an independent maverick write-in candidacy as a flaming liberal and will take more votes away from Biden. Enough votes, in addition to the above, to sink the Biden vote in 2024. Biden takes on world peace as a replacement VP for black unqualified Kamala and loses some of the female black voters, but gains with a Bernie Sanders liberal mix and with a white Texas world peace replacement. World peace Biden ticket can beat Trump or anyone else in 2024. Now, this is a dynamic scenario, so pay attention. First, World Peace is a radical anti-Zionist regarding the Gaza issue and long-term two-state solution for Israel and Palestinians promoter. So World Peace as VP will bring all the Muslim vote to Biden. Second, World Peace was born and raised in Texas until 2011 when he left for New Mexico. World Peace has a stellar resume, unequaled by any candidate of any stripe. Part of that resume is World Peace. Is white, and no matter how liberal, overrides black. Part is that World Peace was born and bred and lived in one of the reddest states in the U.S. World Peace is the first Mason founding fathers of the U.S. and the founding fathers of the Texas Republican were overwhelmingly Masons. In addition, World Peace is a U.S. Army vet with a grandfather sergeant in the American Revolution and three grandfathers who fought for the South. Now, this part is not even talked about. World Peace is a follower of Jesus, but not a corporate Christian religionist. Corporate Christian nationalism is an abomination to God, right up there with evangelical and fundamental support for Trump, who hates the radical liberal left message of Jesus. Crazy. So evangelicals and fundamental Christians vote for Trump even though Trump curses the message of Jesus to feed the hungry, shelter the homeless, and heal the sick. Go figure. It's because the issue is not Jesus. It's the great white hope, Trump. The most important, world peace has a significant foothold against Christian nationalism with his book, The Third Millennium, Second Reformation of Christianity. Further, world peace claims to be the only advocate for Jesus Christ per John 14:25, unchallenged by any Christian preacher for years. In a word, world peace can take the Christian vote, a lot of it, away from Trump. Without the Christian vote, which is mostly white vote as well as Christian, Trump could not win the office of dog catcher. These are the game changer issues that gives Biden an easy ride for re-election with world peace as VP. There are other issues, but a more generic one is that world peace brings the liberal Democrats back into the Democratic Party. So the simple and foundational truth is that Black Kamala sinks the Biden candidacy, and world peace guarantees it as a winner. A lot to think about. This is a crazy election cycle. Have a good day.